Will I ever?
Go ahead.
Will I ever tell? No. And 9 times out of 10, they won't either. Because what you're doing is giving a person permission to be themselves. And people in the life, we figured the worst thing there ever is to be is not what you wanted to be in your one little time on earth. If you want to be a playboy, be one. You shouldn't have to be penalized for that just because you also wanted a family too. We'll help protect that for you. You can come here and fulfill your fantasy and then go back to the reality that you don't like. Or if you like that reality and you want to dibble over. But it is a code. It's like they said about Joe Valachi when he first became a snitch. He said, "We kill each other, but we don't tell each other secrets, Joe. That's too far. We got a problem with each other. We kill each other. That's perfectly fine. But you're telling outsiders about insider stuff. We don't do that because that would destroy the entire inside. You're hurting all of us by doing that. If you have a problem with one guy, hurt him. But you're taking it all down for future generations can't enjoy what we've built and can't profit off what we built. And we built it to outlast us. You know, in other words, if you could want to commit a crime in America, fine, they have a place for you called prison. Now, if you want to commit treason, that's more heinous because you're destroying this for 300 plus million people, and you don't have that right to
Yeah.
destroy everyone's dream. You can destroy one man's, and he can destroy yours, but you don't bring down the house. You don't destroy Disneyland because you have a problem with some ride. You deal with that ride. You deal with the person who operated that ride. But you don't outlaw the whole park because what about? I don't know why I use his name. What about little Billy over there enjoying his hot dog with the ears on? See, you ruined his day too, and you ruined future experiences too. So we kind of look at it like that. If there's a problem with it, we handle it in house. But if you wanted to dibble, you have a right to go back to your anonymity in your life. Well, now we'll talk amongst each other like the water cooler. But she said, he's been with his wife for 35 years. I've been dating him for 8. Talking about he's faithful. Because we were watching the Oscars or something. And yes, I know because I was there. But was she ever exposed? No, you don't do that. You know, and with the Griselda thing, I remember when one interviewer asked me, they said about Epstein when it first happened. And I said, his female counterpart has not yet revealed herself, has not yet been revealed. He said, how do you know? I said, because I did this 30 years. I said, let me describe her to you. She's older than he is. Remember I told you about my bottom woman and all of them. I said, she's orchestrating it. Because I said, how do you get a little kid into a car when you're trying to kidnap him? You don't frighten him in, you offer him candy. See,
Yeah.
his defenses has to be lowered first in order for him to trust you. A man can't do that with a woman. Her defenses are automatically up, especially an older, creepy man. But see, here's an educated woman. She's older. I said she's gonna be slight motherly, slight British nanny. I didn't know she'd actually have an accent, but I said she's gonna be half British nanny, half mother. I said, and she's gonna be somewhat attractive, not attractive anymore because she's passed on in years, but she'll be where you can tell when you were young, you were like a Chris Jenner. You know, like I bet in the 80s you were really, really, really something. I said, she won't look like Liz Taylor. No, she'll be an older one, like Miss Parker from Fridays. She'll be
Hmm.
things like that. She'll be a Mae West. She'll be a Marilyn Monroe type. She's gonna lower that girl's defenses. She has to get her to it. The mad scientists can't do it. I said, they work together. I said, but the alpha is the female in this situation. That's why my book was called Along for the Ride. I was the one along for the ride. I said, oh, you thought I was in control of that the whole time? No, the woman that's 24 years older than me, who had been doing this before I was born, no, she was, but she can't do what I did because as a female she can. So she trained someone with the qualities that she saw. Like she always say, she wants her Mother's Day gift. She said, your mother created Mikael. I created Mickey. And she
Right.
said, I want mine. Well, she's 60 something now. I think she's 62, 63 years old now. But she said, no, give me my credit. And I said, yeah, yeah. No, that was the old sheep that taught the young wolf. And he learned how to be a ferocious wolf and a hunter from other wolves.
Yeah.
But how to get that sheep to trust him and come up to him, only a sheep can teach him that.
Do you think that that will all end up coming out, or there's just too many big money people behind that with the Epstein issue?
The Kennedys haven't all the way came out. That's 60 years ago. He wasn't at those parties by himself. There was some Eisenhowers and some, no, that hasn't come out. It will never come out.
Right.
You know why? because they had such a good time doing it that they don't want to ruin it for the generation that's coming behind them. I have a problem with the way my burger was made. I don't want to burn down their restaurant. It's the only restaurant in town. Now, where are other kids going to eat? Where are other people going to eat? So no, they enjoyed this. They enjoy this little getaway. You know, they enjoy this trip on the wild side. But
Yeah,
there's
but
you have to facilitate that industry, and that's where you come into people like me.
yeah, but Mickey, it's different that when the girls are underage compared to if you want to be with somebody other than your wife or do orgies with, women that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever it may be.
Laws don't exist in that world. The
No,
laws
I agree. It's
that
just
world
kind
are
of
the
sick,
laws
though. Yeah.
or we create, and we follow those rules and regulations, but they don't exist. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to understand what's going around in the world that we live. A lot of people just didn't open their eyes. I said, do you think when countries go to war, they only shoot people over 18? Do you
Right.
think they only?
Yeah, I agree with that.
No, some of those are 4-year-olds. A lot of those are
Right.
4-year-olds. That's just how ugly war is. But there are people who have to facilitate that war. They don't have to watch it on TV. They have to actually walk through and make a conscious decision to shoot this 5-year-old. And if they don't, they can be reprimanded. I said,
Yeah.
no, it's always been this world. This is nothing new. It's always been here. It's just that now that we have visuals, no one would care about the Ukraine war if it weren't on television. Because Syria was just struck a couple of weeks ago. No one gave
Right.
it because we don't get to see it. We don't get to see it. My mother said that. She said that's where the Vietnam protests came in. Where were they during World War II? She said this was the first time we saw war on television.
Mhm.
And she said it was so shocking to us. We said, no, no. She said, but why didn't we do that during the Korean conflict?
Right.
Because we didn't see it. Only the soldiers saw it. And they can come back with smiles and candy. And like, oh, you went over there and you talked them out of it. Yeah, we had a long conversation. Drank some tea, and they agreed that our way of life was right. No, he's not going to bring that horror back to his home. But now that we get to see it,
Mhm.
that's why you have so many different opinions on it. No one had an opinion over World War II. All they said was, hurry home, here's a long kiss. But if they got a chance to see that, they'd be like, no, my son is not going there. My child is not going there. Because they got a chance to see it. So that's the thing with the sex trade now. You're having a chance to see it. But it's old. It's centuries, millenniums old. It's the oldest game in town. When people don't have a product to sell, they sell a service.
Mhm.
Now, what you want to sell is something that's in demand all the time. There you have it. It's not going anywhere.
You're telling me the younger girls is in demand all the time?
Females. Unfortunately, men will hump a watermelon. Okay? Females. But I'll tell you this. When it came to prostitutes, women of the night, their age didn't have anything to do with how much money they made. Their weight didn't have anything to do with how much money they weighed. Yeah, yes. The woman who played Precious on the street can make just as much money as Beyonce. I kid you not, because I can tell you from personal experience. It has nothing to do with beauty or looks. It's about availability. It has nothing to do with that because everybody is somebody's specific type. Does McDonald's sell meat? Yeah. They also sell bread. They also sell potatoes. They also sell ice cream. And there's somebody coming in for each one of those items, or else they wouldn't manufacture all of those items. They have an extensive menu because someone here today is going to order water with lemon. Someone here today is going to order a margarita. Someone here today is going to order Coca-Cola. Someone's going to order 7-Up. So yes, we have an array of things. Which one sells the most? They all sell pretty much the same. Men are just looking for an orifice. Now, on the outside, it can be what type of orifice. Tall, short, fat, skinny, young, old. That's the difference. But trust me when I tell you, men's sex toys are just basically holes. That's it. That's it. That's why women have all these arrangements of sex toys. We have a hole. It can be
Yeah.
on something plastic. It can be on something silicone. It's just an orifice. You drill a hole in something, 2 days later, some man has put his penis through it. You should see in prison. They cut holes in their little mattresses. They put the sock around it, and you should see how many asses are going up in the middle of the night. And you walk by and you don't see. You know why you don't see? Because I just made my hole last night, and I can't wait to get back to my cell. So why would I look at Rob? I got business to take care of in my cell. I'm like, oh, he has a nice technique. I'm gonna try that tonight. I cut my hole last night, baby. We just need an orifice, and we'll
Hey,
hump.
is there a lot of guys that are trying to fuck each other in prison, like you just said with the holes?
Well, I'm always on main line. You have S&Y, which is called special needs yard. They used to call it PC yard, but it had a negative connotation because that meant you snitched on somebody. You need protective cover. So they call it special needs yards. That's where they put homosexuals, transgender, also child molesters, anybody that might be in danger in main line.
Yeah.
Go there voluntarily. You don't have to go to S&Y. All you gotta do is go up to any guard and go, I wanna go S&Y. He takes you immediately. Because your life could be in danger right then and there. When I'm on main line, you have quite a few homosexuals there. And I tell people, anytime you see a homosexual on main line, you leave him alone. Leave him alone unless you want to get your ass kicked. He's a bad dude, okay? He could have chose S&Y. He chose mainline. I knew one, he used to wear his towel around his chest. I've only seen him get into 2 fights. One time the guy left with a broken eye socket and he was holding his eye all the way down. I said, but you can go over there and mess with him if you want to. I said, he's on mainline for a reason. He dates to whom he wants. You have prison rape and you have prison relationships. More so, I saw prison relationships. You know, because you've been in there a long time. And you call your woman and she done got remarried and moved out of state. Because you guys say, some guys doing 10, 20 life. And you're playing with this guy. When you see workout partners, they really aren't workout partners. That's a couple. It's the emotional stand. After a while, man, my mom just passed away. Next you know, his arm is around you like, man, tell me all about it. Blah, blah, blah. And all of that, and you're in the showers with them and they get to, yeah, they look, I mean, an ass crack looks like an ass crack from the back. Okay? It looks the same. And after you've been there a while, you start to see actual relationships. Relationships, you know? And that's what I saw mostly. It's never really, now they use sex to pay off debts. Like, man, you want 6 soups. Well, I'm gonna get some soups next Friday. I want my soups today. Well, I don't have them today. Well, I'm sure you have something equal in trade. And I tell you what, keep the soups you get Friday. I want my pay today. Well, I have shoes. No, I have those. Well, you can have one of my shirts. I have plenty of shirts. You know what I want. That easy way or the hard way. I saw quite a bit of that, you know, and prostitution in there too.
Really?
You know? Oh God, a lot of prostitution. People who don't have money to put on their books, they want extra food, they want extra things, they want a radio and a television set. And the guy say, well, you know what I want, right? Do I get the 10-inch TV set or the 13-inch? Yes. The 10-inch, you can get the 13-inch TV, and it's only gonna cost you these 7 inches. It's by your choice. Now you can say no, but you go over there and read your books, okay? You got 3, you done read them already. Year after year, you read the same 3 books, or the world could be yours if the price is right. Look, take it or leave it. I got 7 TVs sitting over here. It's up to you now. You want this TV or not? Oh, I guess so. And then after a while, they'd be like, well, that wasn't half bad. You know, I need a VCR with that. The store is always open, baby. Yeah, you see, that's the majority using it as barter. You see a lot of that.
Hey, can we end with this last story? So obviously, because I know people want to hear about this, so just going back to the parties. So when you were at the parties, can you talk about, obviously we're not exposing anybody, but can you talk about some funny stories or crazy stories? You know, you've been to quite a few of them, so.
I really can't without giving the names up because it won't be as significant.
Okay.
You know, the anti-drug person that you bring cocaine and they look up and go, don't you ever say cocaine around me. And you get scared and go, unless you got more of it. And they pull out this drug. Yeah, that's the same one that I just saw on television about kids. Never go near this stuff. If they do, call your local cop. Yes, he's right there with that big struggle. And this woman is over there being entertained by 3 guys. And they go right out and that's the kind of stuff we laugh at, but you won't find it as funny if I don't give you the name.
Yeah, all right. But is it so you're talking about like there's girls running trains over there that are married and shit like that? Jesus.
Oh, a lot more. a lot more stuff than that. But to me,
Yeah. Right.
but money wise, the voyeur shows to me made more than the swinger parties because I
But
noticed at one of my swinger parties, more of the couples were just sitting watching. So I started bringing in ringers, like actual porn girls, porn guys, to get the thing going. So I said, wait a minute. So I actually charged more for my voyeur parties. I set them up in backyards, and eventually I had to rent out space. But at first I started in backyards with tables and chairs, and I had tablecloths, and I had the women that were half naked serving the men. They were like in the maid uniforms, but nothing else on. And they were serving the men and the women, drinks and little appetizers. And then the bedroom is on the back patio. Yeah, you have a sliding glass door. That's where the bed is. So when I raise the curtains up, it's a live show. Now the couple inside, they don't see because all they see is black wall. Remember, the lights are on inside, so they can't see out the window. So they don't get shy or embarrassed because they don't ever go out that door. But they know that we're on the outside looking. Eventually, the people would get up and come look, and they'd rather pay and watch at a show. I would have 3 voyeur shows during my parties, so I could charge so much. And everyone left with a gift basket. It usually had a couple of DVDs in it, a few dildos sticking up, maybe some condoms and some perfumes and stuff like that. But I figured you paying, $300, $400, $500 to get in here. I can spend $80 on a basket for you to go out
and these are like celebrities. They're just sitting to watch.
Yes.
Oh.
Celebrities and regular, anybody who can afford it. But
yeah,
you see, we don't have new people off the street. In order to be a part of that crowd, someone from that crowd
you have to be invited in, right?
Yeah, but by anyone, let's say you're a regular, right? And you and your woman come all the time. Well, you might have a female friend that wants to go. Her and her boyfriend can't come to mine because anonymity was serious because the type of clientele I had.
Right.
They don't. But you can bring that female in. Now, once she's been with you a couple of times, she can bring her guy in. But we have to know at least one of the people walking through the door, and they're responsible for the actions of the other person they brought.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's how it spreads like that. But just like step right up, here's your card, anybody walk in. I've had those before, but I prefer the ones like these. I could charge more. The lower the price, the more of the commoners you're gonna get, but you get a higher volume. So when I had them at places that were like huge that I had to rent out, really, really big, the price was only $100. And it was anybody could come. Single men was 150, couples were 100. So if you brought a girl with you, it's only 100. If you're a single man, it's 150. Do you know I always had to turn away at least 20, 30 single men because of that capacity? Because I keep 2-to-1 ratio. I always try to have 2/3 women, 1/3 men.
Right.
It always looks out the other way. And I'm like, I can't let any more guys in. Because then it just looks like we're filming Porky's or a bachelor party or something. I have to have 2/3 women. Single women could always get in for free.
Yeah.
Because we need more women because I would say 100% of the men are there for the women, and I would say 50% of the women are there for the women.
Yeah, well, that's how a lot of the clubs are. Going back to my college days in Boca, I used to, because I'm a little bit on the cheap side sometimes, and I don't want to pay 10, 20, 30 bucks, $40 to get into some of these places. So I would have a girl that I knew was going to get in for free try to hustle me in. And thankfully, most of the time it worked.
My ex used to get paid between high school and college.
Like a promoter?
No, she would get paid to stand in line at this club for 3 hours. Her and her friends, because they were models. They never got in. They wanted them to stand in the velvet rope because that attracted guys' cars to pull over and say, oh, they have those type of women in there. They were getting paid to stand still. And they would get their money and come back the next week and just stand there in their dresses and gowns and whatever they're wearing. And they would stand there and talk.
Hey, that's a hell of a job. Yeah.
That's what they were. They were basically billboards. And they said, oh, they have those type of women in there. And it worked. It obviously worked for the club. See, I wasn't around then because I didn't know her then. She's talking about early 20s. But she told me these stories. And she said it must have worked because they paid us every week. Our job was to get dressed up and stand there. They didn't want them to go in. They wanted people passing by to see them standing outside.
So they'd come in, yeah.
So they'd come in.
All right. Well, next time we come on, I want to go. I know we did Pimp Game before. I do want to rehash it for the viewers coming up. So maybe we can schedule another day and do some, because I don't want to go too much into Pimp Game again, because I want to go into the other books, because we
Okay,
haven't really went too deep into those before. So maybe we can do one book a session
that would be great.
within, yeah. All right, so we'll end there. Again, Mickey Royal, definitely go and check out his books on Amazon. He's got the book. He'll show it in just a second. Pimp Game.
Available in audio form also, so you
Yes,
can
I
listen
actually
to it on
have
your
it on the
job.
audio book, by the way. I do have it on the audio book on Amazon Audible. You can definitely get it on there for Pimp Game. So definitely check it out. Mickey Royal. Mickey, thanks so for always coming on here. I
Thank
appreciate
you
you.
for having me.